Hey everyone and welcome back to The 4. Today we're continuing our deep dive into Terrahawks. If you missed the last part, Terrahawks was a British sci-fi series that was filmed in super macromation, aka with puppets. The plot consisted of an android named Zelda trying to destroy Earth's premier fighting force, the Terrahawks, and would do so by sending bombs, kidnapping people, and sending out minions such as a literal teddy bear. And the Yeti! The show is definitely a little creepy and bizarre from the outside, but the show managed to keep me intrigued throughout the first season. But then again, the show got pretty repetitive with how locations were overused, how clear-cut the plots were, and quite frankly how long some of the scenes were. However, I'm still holding out hope for season 2. Shows usually get better past the first season, and from the snippets I've seen, this show is definitely going to get interesting. And since that YouTube executive decided to stop me in my tracks last time, I better make this video quick. So without further ado, let's go ahead and... What now? Oh. It's probably a good idea. Okay. Just so things are as transparent as possible, this video is meant to be comedic. Most of what I say here isn't meant to be taken seriously, and is not meant to criticize Jerry Anderson or his vision for the show. If you want a serious discussion of Terrahawks, this is not that video. Instead, I highly recommend this documentary on the Jerry Anderson YouTube channel. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and begin with Season 2. We start the episode on Mars with the young star being a couch potato, before Zelda reveals her newest scheme.
Look, but be warned.
It's a screen? No, in actuality, this box contains a mist that causes people to see
The most frightful secret horror.
Youngstar hates his mother confirmed. They then send the box towards Spacehawk, where Kate is aboard for some reason. 101 and 55 take the box into the station, and investigate it by drilling a hole in it. I get that you guys are trying to investigate what's inside, but you're deliberately opening and letting the mist contaminate the air? After telling Hero of what happened, Kate is sent home. Once Kate arrives home and says hi to Mary, she experiences her own vision. Man, they are really nailing the feeling of found footage. A noticeably younger looking Einstein then orders a search of the entire base, where Hawkeye has his own vision with Moid.
It was Moid. Maybe we're up against something a human can experience, but a machine can't.
Einstein then decides to face the mist himself. Damn. Einstein's got some lungs. In doing this, Einstein trapped the mist in his mind and has Zero erase those memories.
We could wipe his brain permanently.
Ready to switch on.
No, wait!
Calm down, Mary. There's still 7 more Einsteins in reserve. However, Zero wipes the visions, and Einstein makes it out safe. The mist is then sent into space, and is then blown up. You know what? I'm gonna say it. That was the best episode of the show so far. Yeah, the plot discrepancies weren't that great, but I gotta hand it to the producers here. They really hammered the horror aspects, and they worked out very well. So yeah, I'm glad to see we're starting the season on a high note. Let's continue. We start off with 2 dudes flying a commercial ship, one of whom looking like Einstein wearing a skin mask. They fly too close to Mars, Zelda fires at the ship, and takes the 2 in as hostages. Einstein then meets with Colonel Johnson to develop a plan to save them.
We monitored Zelda's message to the world government. She's willing to exchange me for the 2 prisoners.
The Terrahawks then discuss their plan off-screen for the 2nd episode in a row, with Kate staying on Earth, and everyone else headed to Spacehawk. While they head to Mars, Zelda reveals what she plans to do with Einstein.
Kill him! I have already appointed an executioner.
About time they give Moid more screen time, Einstein and Zero make their way down to Mars, with a mysterious briefcase. Zelda allows the hostages to return with Zero, as her and Moid prepare a death chamber for Einstein. I have to hand it to the show again. They are nailing these ominous settings. You're about to die. And you're still playing that game? Spacehawk then flies away from Mars, and sets up a shield that prevents any communication. As the Zeroids and Hawkeye plan an ambush, Cade broadcasts a song to Einstein which secretly reveals the exact moment they plan to strike. Jesus, the plans in both of these episodes were well laid out, but My god, they're needlessly complicated. Once Einstein receives a message, he distracts Zelda by destroying her crystal. Hawkeye then fires at Zelda's base, with the Zeroids busting in to save Einstein.
Stop him! He's gone!
You guys had 8 whole seconds to stop him, yet you do absolutely nothing. We then get another Zeroid power struggle to end the episode. Once again, pretty fun episode, but those puppet designs could still use a little work. The episode begins with Youngstar using his machine he calls Ferret. He uses Ferret to read radio waves coming from Earth, and discovers a satellite that carries 85% of Earth's gold reserves. Zelda overhears this, and hatches a plan to destroy it.
Wonderful!
Meanwhile on Earth, it's Einstein's birthday. Happy birthday, Einstein. But after a party with a Zeroid cake and Einstein receiving a book titled Robots Can Be Fun, 101 notices a ZEAF headed for Earth.
We're tracking a small craft from Mars.
The ZEAF shoots and disables Spacehawk, allowing it to enter Earth's atmosphere. The ship is carrying a creature called a Krell, which can shoot directly into space, and looks like a pile of unused parts from a puppet factory. The ship lands in Egypt, with the Krell planning to destroy the gold reserve once it flies over its location. While Hawkwing, the battle tank, Zero, and 18 attempt to destroy it, they find that only Spacehawk is powerful enough to do the job.
We need a spotter on the ground to direct our fire.
Ready to act as the spotter.
The Sergeant Major could be killed.
Yeah, the odds aren't good. All right, Zero. You've got the job.
Better start reading that book, Einstein. After Zero helps spot the location of the Krell, Spacehawk destroys it, but Zero was a little too close to the explosion.
Bury me here, Dixute. Full military honors.
I am sorry to say, you will be fine.
What?
Man, Einstein must be worse than we think. I don't know if that was easy to tell, but that episode easily had the most filler so far. There were a lot of scenes that stretched their length and some pointless establishing shots, but I do think it got a lot better toward the end. Alright, I've got to try to keep this video under 30 minutes, so let's keep on going. We learn the President is launching into space, and is orbiting the Earth in this mangled space shuttle.
This is election year. The administration needs some good publicity.
Oh wow. Weird timing to review this episode then.
All I understand is we have a 1,000,000-mile wide gap in our defenses. An open door for Zelda to walk right through.
Youngstar intercepts the news from Earth, and sees an opportunity to invade. However, Zelda won't let him leave alone.
Come forward, my furry, a Napoleon.
Out of all the characters to bring back, they chose Concussion Bear? Yuri and Youngstar then fly through the President's path, and set up shop in an abandoned house. They really had to make Stu a recurring character, didn't they? The ZEAF spots and attacks them, with Yuri using his telekinesis to give Hudson a stroke. Again. Why does his laugh sound like he's crying his eyes out? Youngstar threatens the two with a death chamber, before the Terrahawks learn their location.
A guy with a bear on a lead walked into a sandwich bar. And get this, he wanted real sand.
The Terrahawks then arrive at the house, but the battle tank is taken out by Yuri. So in desperate times, Einstein calls for desperate measures.
But it's a sewer. It's so undignified, sir.
I think you all know where this is heading. I called him Concussion Bear for a reason.
I plead for terms of surrender. Mother, don't leave me behind. Mother!
And the episode ends with Stu blabbering his mouth off as his memories are erased. Well, once again, this is definitely one of the best episodes so far. Having Youngstar as the main villain, the new locations, and fleshing out Kate and Youngstar's characters were all great to see. Although we did hit a minor snag in the third episode, let's see if the streak continues. We start this episode with Youngstar listening to Kate's music, and he actually likes it.
Ouch! Mother, caught you again, you deceitful boy!
But as Zelda berates her son, Youngstar tells her how his ferret machine can aid their plans. They were really hammering this device this season. Kate invites Stu and Chick to a party, before Zelda uses the ferret to contact Stu directly.
You will obey.
I will obey.
Okay, now that's 2 episodes where characters immediately obey Zelda without seeing or hearing anything except her voice. Mary and Einstein leave for the party in the Hawkwing, and Kate takes Hudson to pick up Stu and Chick.
Some clown has locked the door up here and I can't get out.
Mr. King asked me to apologize. He's been unavoidably detained.
You feeling alright, Stu?
Never better.
Stu then pulls out a f***ing gun, takes Kate hostage, and waits for Zelda to arrive. Then Hawkeye flies the Battlehawk to meet Einstein to rescue Kate, but soon enough, Youngstar meets with Stu. Youngstar then tires himself out from barely even walking far, as Einstein and the Zeroids begin their ambush.
I know what you're thinking, that you can use my ship over there to escape, but you can't use it because you can't fly it.
But you can.
Oh no.
What is Einstein's plan here? Once Einstein and Youngstar board Hawkwing, 0 and 18 destroy Zelda's cubes and free Kate. Einstein then tosses Youngstar into an abandoned warehouse before we fade to black. And the hot streak continues. Sure, we never got to see the party or anything like that, but seeing all these new settings and concepts is great to see. It's a lot better than going to the desert over and over and over and over and... Oh. I better go lie down.
Which do I eat first?
God, this dude's gross. As Youngstar plays with his food, Zelda reveals her newest plan.
Welcome, Moid.
What nonsense is this?
He stands before you as the Invisible Man.
Copyright infringement. Moid then heads to Earth in a ZEAF, and avoids Spacehawk's missiles by... moving. Earth's premier space fighting force, ladies and gentlemen. Hawkwind eventually shoots down the ZEAF, but as Moid becomes invisible, he's nowhere to be seen. And later that night, Moid commits home invasion.
Such beauty.
Okay, this is starting to get really f***ing weird. Moid then follows Kate and Hudson into the Terrahawks base, and proceeds to cut power to the entire base. The Zeroids fail to search for him, but Moid is ultimately cornered in a room.
He touched me.
Keep your busy hands to yourself, dude. Einstein is eventually able to stun Moid, and lets him explain himself.
I have no face and little will of my own. I cannot kill. It is the one shred of self-esteem I have left. Take him out to the wreck of that ZEAF. Zelda reclaims her own. I will carry the memory of such beauty to feed my feeble spirit.
Damn. Okay. Wow. That episode was kind of boring, but make Moid the lead villain at this point. Every single one of his scenes are among the best of the show so far. Alright, now to drag us out of the depressing rut from the last episode, we now have the Christmas episode. Very weird juxtaposition.
Tiger? We're going to try the lights.
Go ahead.
Well?
Fine.
Ah, I see we have a Scrooge here. Youngstar and Sistar talk about Christmas with Zelda, but she doesn't care, and decides to launch a full-scale attack on the Terrahawks.
Happy Christmas, Tiger.
Who's the duty officer?
I am.
Why aren't you in uniform?
This dude still sucks. Einstein somehow senses the attack, and has every person in Zeroid board Spacehawk in preparation. The two parties then land on the lunar surface, where Zeroids dig into trenches, and the cubes form the forbidden T-pose.
Our artillery is ready.
They are really going for the war theme here. As the Zeroids and cubes fire at each other, Mary pleads to stop the attacks, but Einstein refuses.
War is lunacy.
Battle tanks are drawn to destroy the cubes, and Youngstar and Sistar join the battlefield themselves. Then, at the time of desperation, Einstein goes to bed. What a fantastic leader. With Mary in charge, she seizes fire on her side, which leads to Youngstar seizing his fire.
It's a miracle, a Christmas miracle. I took the liberty of inviting them back.
You let the enemies onto your ship? And now you're dancing with them?
What's this? Mutiny? You're all against me. If you can't beat him, join him.
What the hell is going on?
Will you get off me?
Tiger.
Oh, I must have been dreaming.
What time is it?
Just after midnight. It's Christmas Day. Happy Christmas, everyone! Happy Christmas!
Moving on. The episode starts with Youngstar shoving food into his ugly mouth before ZEAF is about to hit Zoda's base!
What happened, Youngstar?
In reality, this was just a tiny, tiny ZEAF that Zoda plans to fool the Terrahawks with. My question is, who's small enough to fly that thing? Spacehawk unsurprisingly misses the ZEAF, not because the ship is small, but instead because Spacehawk has missed every single ship this season. Kate and Hawkeye attempt to stop the ZEAF, but get too close to outer space.
Kate, break off pursuit. You hear me, Kate?
Yeah, I hear you.
I turn my face into the wind.
Awkward transition into song, but okay. Kate then apologizes to Ninestein for disobeying orders, as we learn the ZEAF has landed in New York. Ninestein heads up to Spacehawk to figure out why their calculations are off, but soon enough, the ZEAF takes off as a drunk watches.
Never had toys like that when I was a kid.
Kate and Hawkeye then attack the ZEAF again, but once Ninestein orders them to not go any higher, they refuse and destroy the ZEAF.
Engines 10-0. We're going into orbit.
Ninestein then sends the Zeroids to rescue Kate and Hawkeye, but Spacehawk detects another ZEAF.
You can rely on me.
Why am I deeply concerned whenever he says that?
Although the ZEAF is even more powerful than the Zeroids, Zero has a plan to stop Youngstar.
It's an enormous star cruiser.
With Youngstar fooled and going for retreat, the Zeroids all blast him into space and rescue Kate and Hawkeye. I'll be honest, kind of a nothing episode for me, but it was nice to have the show grounded in reality again after that Christmas special. We start off in a global songwriting contest in which Kate Kestrel has made it to the finals. They begin counting the votes, as the rest of the Terrahawks watch in support.
For space sake, another vote for North. Who in Spacefire picked these juries? It's rigged. Rigged!
Ninestein is reminding me of someone. Can't quite put my finger on it, though. Kate ends up winning by 1 point, which enters her into the Interstellar Songwriting Contest. Zelda hears about this, and decides to challenge Kate's winnings.
Zelda lives on Mars and is therefore a resident of the solar system. She took her case to the United Planets where it was upheld.
Okay, I don't know what sounds more crazy to me. Zelda singing a song or the United Planets being a thing. But don't count Zelda out yet, as she has Moid impersonate Mozart. I like you, Moid, but the bassoon is not for you. Zelda then recruits the now twice dead, 3 times alive Sram as her drummer, as the contest between her and Kate is set to take place on an asteroid. Once everything's set up with Stu as the judge, Ninestein and a hair-dyed Zelda meet.
Go and do your worst. The stage is ready.
My worst! I will! I am Zelda, ruler of the universe!
Who's the worst?
I'm the worst. Everybody knows that I'm the worst. I'm the meanest queen that's ever been. But if I try...
That, do the rest. Everybody move to the Zelda rest. That, do the rest. Everybody move.
I applaud this show for embracing its absurdity. As Kate goes on and sings her song, 2 ZEAF start destroying the asteroid, but Spacehawk is able to destroy them. Kate is declared the winner of the contest, but Zelda has one more trick up her sleeve.
Play it, Sram!
The cave begins to collapse as Sram plays, but the Terrahawks and Stu manage to escape before everything falls. As for Youngstar...
How is it, Youngstar?
Busted.
Well, you know, I wasn't really feeling the last couple of episodes, but the producers came back and killed it with this one. This is the funniest episode so far. It felt like the show was deliberately making fun of itself, and it worked pretty damn well here. I'll also say, we better at least get one more Zelda rap before the end of the show. Alright, let's keep on going. Does Youngstar ever not eat? Oh, God! A teleporting Freddy Krueger! No, this is actually Lord Tempo, who can master time by altering and traveling through time. He then fixes Youngstar's soup, and leaves for Earth in a ZEAF.
You left with him, youngster!
As the two make their way to Earth, Spacehawk notices and fires at them, but Lord Tempo has a trick up his sleeve.
It's vanished!
We have moved back in time 500 or 600 years.
They then land on Earth in this timeline for some reason, run into King Richard, who they take with them because...
But he's so handsome, and I think he likes me.
Once they get back to modern times, they learn they could use Kate to find the Terrahawks base, and follow her route home to a bridge.
Kate! She's been killed!
Killing number 13 was one thing, but to kill off a main character, not to mention probably the most popular character in the show? How could they do that? Lord Tempo undoes this and instead traps her on the bridge. Thanks for ripping out everyone's heartstrings, Chic. But even though Kate's death was undone, Einstein and Mary still remember it happening. They realize a time warp is happening, so they go to Kate's location. Einstein finds the villains in a building and threatens to blow up everyone inside.
You alone will be destroyed. And him. 3, 2, wait.
Since killing King Richard would change the course of history, Lord Tempo agrees to Einstein's terms and resets the entire day. It's the Christmas episode all over again, and everything is back to normal.
A ZEAF, my kingdom for a ZEAF!
Well, almost everything. We start off in the Overlander Depot, where something suspicious is happening.
Where are you, Harry?
Back at Hawknest, the Zeroids are having a meeting.
Dr. Einstein is on to us. We need to convince him that, like George Washington, we cannot tell a lie.
But moving back to the depot, we learn Harry was paid off by, you guessed it, Youngstar. He and a cube follow the Overlander in a car, but fail to catch it due to a mudslide.
My plan proceeds. Einstein's little surprise package is on its way.
After receiving the Overlander supplies, Einstein opens his package.
Flowers.
A secret admirer. Interesting.
You are really taking the secret admirer thing well, Mary. Back at the depot, Youngstar ambushes and shoots Harry and turns the depot into a base. Also, Harry never appears again, so he's probably dead. Speaking of dead, Mary and Einstein are found unresponsive by the Zeroids, and after Kate and Hawkeye check on them, they are too knocked out. Number 50 scans the air and finds a rare space pollen that put everyone into a coma. With Zero in charge, the Zeroids get rid of the flowers and head to the Overlander Depot. The Zeroids then use their guns in the Overlander to destroy all the cubes, leaving Youngstar burnt to a crisp. Zelda then reclaims Youngstar, the Terrahawks wake up, and Zero tells them all of his heroic triumph.
Dozens of cubes pinned down by a hail of fire.
A Zeroid cannot tell a lie.
Zero, get out of here.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Other than that, pretty damn good episode. Hell, I'd say it's the best of the series thus far. It didn't have an over-convoluted plot, the stakes felt high, and I felt engaged from start to finish. It also felt like a great recovery from the last episode, so I will 100% take that. Weird way to start the episode. Einstein has all the Terrahawks together for a high operation, but won't reveal what they're doing.
What we don't understand is the reason you're doing this.
Prepare to leave orbit. Set course for Mars.
Youngstar and Sistar notice the Terrahawks approach, but Zelda refuses to fire at them. Once the Terrahawks arrive on Mars, they peacefully enter Zelda's base and are teaming up.
We will soon be confronted by the greatest menace in the universe, the Zyklon.
The ultimate computer, programmed to destroy all life forms.
While Kate and Hawkeye test piloting the ZEAFs, Spacehawk launches Hawkspy to study the Zyklon.
Its one aim, the elimination of life. If we fail, first Mars and then Earth will be totally destroyed.
Since the Zyklon is only after human and android life, Einstein forces Zero and 101 to act as robotic as possible and sends them into battle with Kate and Hawkeye. During their approach, Hawkeye and 101 are shot, leaving Zero alone to deal with the Zyklon.
I am here to destroy you.
You will not fire. It is not logical.
The Zyklon tries to convince Zero to join them, but Zero realizes he's more than just a machine, and fires at the Zyklon. The Terrahawks then leave Mars, and on their way back, Zero finally defeats Ninestein.
Well, I suppose you deserve some kind of commendation.
Not necessary, sir.
What?
Modesty forbids me to accept praise.
Modesty? For the last time, Zero, why am I arguing with this plague of my life?
Ooh, now he's angry, and I'm happy.
Well then, that was another great episode with an interesting team-up and high stakes. Why was it not the season finale? Oh well, this final episode had better have a damn good reason for why it's the season finale.
Zelda, I have something wonderful to tell you.
Later.
Everyone then stares into Zelda's crystal, where they all see Sram. And the mountain abuse continues. They then go on to show an abridged version of Thunderpath. Okay, well, that's an odd thing to do. Maybe this is just a really odd way to reintroduce Sram. They then retell the story of the Spirilla. I'm starting to think the show ran out of money. After retelling the Spirilla and Operation S.A.S, we finally get to why Zelda chose to retell these stories.
My new cryogenic store. A collection of monsters with horrific powers beyond imagination.
Oh, okay, I guess that's a good way to gain interest for the next season.
I am going to have a baby!
That makes a lot more sense. Still, I think it's safe to say that that was a waste of an episode. Wait, who's the father? And that was Terrahawks Season 2. While I still have some problems with the show, this season was a wild improvement over the first. Although they did rely on Youngster quite a bit, each plot felt unique, the camera work was more engaging, and most episodes barely dragged on. Not to mention, I laughed a lot more this season compared to the first. And I don't even mean in a so bad it's good manner. These episodes were seriously funny to me. And although the Christmas and time-traveling episodes were complete mindfucks, I am enjoying the show a lot more than I was at the beginning. Well, I somehow managed to keep this video under 30 minutes, so maybe that means I can finish the series now. So, let's not waste any more time and start with season... I have to split this video up again, don't I? Because
Yeah, you're gonna have to split it up again. But thanks for understanding.
Back to the rest. Everybody move to the left. Back to the rest. Let's